Good morning, everybody. How are we doing? All right, so I'm going to introduce my friend Jim Socci and tell you a little bit about his background and then get him rolling. So Jim is obviously a Lehigh Valley businessman. He's the president of this company, Artistic Toy Manufacturing. They manufacture stuffed plush toys for corporate promotions, and if you haven't already taken a tour, I encourage you to look around because this facility is amazing, and the kind of product that they produce is incredible, and just the vastness of it is pretty amazing. So Jim is an active member of Promotional Products Association International, who I'm with, and he's through us, he's earned his Certified Advertising Specialist certification. He also serves as treasurer for the Regional Trade Association, PAPA, which is the Philadelphia Area Promotional Products Association. He speaks regularly on topics like branding, product safety, and the value of promotional products, and I want to add to that and say he passionately speaks about these things, and he's been an advocate for product safety and corporate responsibility for this industry, and he speaks to people in DC and travels around and encourages people to better understand this industry for those of us inside the industry and for those that are not. Today, Jim's presentation is about reaching the next generation, people like me, in communications. The presentation is Mastering Face-to-Face Networking, so I want everybody to welcome my friend Jim Socci.
Thank you, Seth.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Wow, it's awesome to see so many people here. I was thinking last night, I'm like, there's going to be about 8 people here. It's going to be all the students that are required to be here. That's what I'm going to probably end up seeing. But to see all these faces here this early at 8:30 in the morning is really, thank you. I really, really appreciate it. Presentation this morning, Mastering Face-to-Face Business Networking. How would you like to take your life to the next level? That's the question I want to ask you. I want to ask you, how would you like to take your business to the next level?
With a lot more sales.
And to our students, how would you like to take those college admissions to the next level? Or just, maybe there's some friends here. You want to take your friendships to the next level. Well, if the answer to that question is yes, yes, and yes, then follow me. So we're going to go on a journey. We're going to go on a journey to master face-to-face business networking. The good news is, there's only 5 stops on this journey. Can you guys stay with me for 5 stops? I'm going to go through them really quick. My goal is to make this an experiential type of learning environment. Has anyone ever experienced experiential learning? Show of hands. Show of hands. Maybe, not sure. Well, what's really neat, face-to-face business networking is completely experiential, right? Because, let's face it, your body is speaking more than sometimes our words. Our eye contact, how we walk into the room, things of that nature. It's experiential. I want to make an experience for you. We have a huge opportunity. This event, I stole the hashtag from Seth. And we put it on our bears here. Hashtag next generation. All right. My goal and vision is to take the next generation, the millennials. We got millennials here. We got baby boomers here. I think maybe a couple up front.
I'm a millennial.
Millennial? Generation, we got generation, I believe I'm generation X. Would that be right, Seth? And was Y after X?
That's millennial.
That's millennial. Okay. So we've got, goal has been accomplished in that we've got multiple generations here. Now the problem is, or now the challenge is, we have to get these generations communicating, networking. So I hope you guys came to experience it and be a part of it. I'm going to challenge some of you. Hopefully I don't embarrass some of you, but maybe I hope I do embarrass you a little bit. Sometimes we have to get out of our comfort zones to really experience our lives at the next level. let's go into my slides. Welcome. Spark. This is a spark. There's a lot of smart people out there, really intelligent, that have not mastered face-to-face business networking. Do you know any of them? That they could memorize photographic memories, but they can't have a conversation with you, right? What my research has found is that your ability to master these in-person communications is directly proportionate to your success. Now, success is a general term. You know, it could be financial, it could be in financial terms, it could be just in the quality of the relationships that you have with friends. But there is this direct correlation. So my goal is to take you again on this journey, 5 stops. I'm going to go through them real quick with you right now. And I've got techniques to help you remember them. Because there's no sense in me just standing up here for an hour and going through things that, you're like, when is this guy going to stop? I don't remember this stuff. All right, so the first thing you got to know, the first stop on our journey to mastering face-to-face business networking is the greeting. Can you guys remember that? Millennials, the greeting. Dynamic. A dynamic greeting is the first stop on our journey. The next stop on our journey, curiosity. You need genuine curiosity about people. The third stop on our journey, I call it qualify. You need strength. You need strength of purpose in who you are and what you're looking for. And you get to qualify others, and you get quality out of your networking experiences. Fourth stop on our journey, I was already going to the last. Open helping hands on your journey to master face-to-face business networking. Then last but not least, I call this delivery with a smile. All right, you guys ready to practice this? Yes. All right. We're going to get to that. We're going to get into some in-depth practice because we've got some time. I've just given you the whole presentation, so the good news is for those of you that came in late, we're going to go through it again. For those of you that are here, remember this is about mastery. Mastery is, repetition. Repetition being the mother of skill. Everybody will leave here as masters. Does anybody know how much time you would need to invest to become a master at something? Has anybody? 10,000 hours. Wow, 10,000 hours. Woo! We got less than an hour here. How are we going to do this? Well, I'm actually going to prove to you that you don't need 10,000 hours to be a master of business networking. Actually, some of you already are masters of business networking or face-to-face networking. I'm going to give you some examples of people that I know that are masters at business networking or face-to-face business networking. And that's I got my props up here. I'm going to first start with my flag football team that I coach. Quick story. My son, Max, 6 years old, best quarterback in the league. I'm biased. First practice, I'm all excited, and we're done with practice, and we go home that night, and I say, "Hey, Max," I said, "what was the best part of practice?" He's like, "Well, it was when we were playing monkey in the middle." I'm like, "We didn't play monkey in the middle. What are you talking about?" And then I remembered, after practice, I'm cleaning up all the gear, and I walk out, and him and they were in this indoor auditorium, and they were in this area outside of that, where him and his buddy Braden was like, "Hey, throw me the ball, Max." So, throws you the ball. "Hey, I'm over here, throw it to me. Hey, I'm over here." Before you know it, there's 9 kids from 4 years old to 10 years old out in the lobby throwing a ball. "Hey, look at me." And they're just having fun. They're just having fun, getting to know each other. I determined at that point, he's a master at face-to-face networking. He just went and he had fun. And, I mean, those kids he was playing with, they weren't on his team. He didn't know them. But he was able to take the ball, throw it, and have some fun, and meet some new people. It can be that easy. I believe, do you ever hear that saying, once you've graduated kindergarten, you've learned about everything you need to know in life. Has anyone heard that quote? It's a book. I think there's some truth to that. As we get older, sometimes we think we know more. Maybe we know more stuff. But those just basic communications on how we relate to people, we learned it when we were in kindergarten or first grade. There's some mastery that we already have inside of us that we can take advantage of. So I want to caution you that some of this stuff I'm going to teach you or talk about, you already know. But hey, the real masters, the true masters, they're always what? Honing their skills. There's always that one piece of information. They're like, oh, that's a distinction I hadn't thought about. Or that's something I knew and I forgot. That's where I'm hoping and I'm thinking all of us can benefit from that today. So I want this to be a spark for you. I don't want anyone to fall asleep. So we're going to keep this live. And let's face it, if you make a good connection in your life, man, that can change the whole direction of your future. Just one spark. I want you guys to know that when we think of networking, like you might think, oh, this is an event. This is networking. But networking is happening. You don't need 40, 50, 100 people at an event to network. Your networking is happening all around you. In your classrooms are networking opportunities. At the grocery store, it's a networking opportunity. At church is another networking opportunity. It's all around. Anybody have a birthday party this weekend? Is a networking opportunity. They are everywhere. But let's face it, we don't all think of them as networking opportunities, but they're there. They're there for us to master. And the sparks, family reunion. Family reunion. Quick story. Over there in our little NPR room where you guys' breakfast is, there's a video playing. And I am sitting there getting interviewed by State Representative Justin Simmons. About a 12-minute video. He has a whole 2 professional camera crews come in, interviews me, talks about our company, all those sort of great things. You know how that happened? Family reunion. Family reunion. And this is on my wife's side, it's not even really someone I know. It would be like extended family. He starts talking about his business, we start talking about things. He says, oh, you're in Justin Simmons' district. You should go sit down with him. I'm like, why? He said, trust me, just go sit with them. Just go meet with them. I did. No intention. I come, he's like, I want to help support businesses. I want to know what you do. I do this legislative report on a quarterly basis. Would you mind if I came out and interviewed you and took a tour of your place? Okay. What could be the harm? But it was from that network, and I wasn't thinking about I'm going to the family reunion and I'm going to network with somebody. But it's building those relationships everywhere you go that's going to help you master becoming a face-to-face networker. And those, like I said, I just remind you, these opportunities are everywhere for you. And I don't know, I can't really put a value on a 12-minute video. Well, I guess I can because I'm paying these guys. But what it's going to do for your business or for your personal life to really, not think of that next family birthday party or reunion that you're going to as, oh, Junior's turning 10. Oh, we got a confirmation party this weekend. I know, I feel the same way. And let's face it, I feel the same way sometimes about industry networking events that I go to. I think, do I really want to go? Do I have to go? That mindset. You want to get yourself emotionally ready to take yourself and your business and your life to the next level. So we're going to go through some more things here. I want to say your future depends on it. The height of your success is related, highly correlated to your ability to master face-to-face, in-person networking. So I always like, definitions of things, and I like to think like, okay, Artistic Toy is in this marketing industry, Promotional Products Association International. We got some marketing students here, one from, I think, Shippensburg University. We got some young high school students maybe haven't declared exactly what area that they want to study. But I want you to remember, and I want you to think about this, and it took me a while to remember this or kind of bring this together, that face-to-face networking is actually a form of marketing. All right? And if you really dig deeper into it, it is rooted in the best form of marketing known to man since the beginning of time. It is known as word-of-mouth marketing. Word-of-mouth marketing goes back all the way to the beginning of time, and this is where you have a certain problem, we're talking about it. Oh, you need to talk to my friend over here, Kurt, he's got exactly what you need. What's so valuable, and sometimes we don't realize this, what's so valuable about this marketing is that it has what advertisers pay just millions and millions of dollars and thousands of hours to get. And it's hard to get on a billboard. It's hard to get in an email. It's trust and credibility. When I say, you need to talk to my buddy Kurt if you want to get some printed promotional products, you're going to do it. You're not going to ask me why. Well, you might, but if you have the need, you're going to go see the person I recommended to you because you trust me. We have a relationship. There's credibility. You're going to follow what I say, and then you're going to kick my butt if it doesn't work out, and then you're going to bash Kurt if he doesn't do a good job. That's word-of-mouth marketing. If you don't have a good experience with somebody or something, you're not going to hold. Most people aren't going to hold back. That is extremely valuable. So remember that. It works both ways. We're all on stage here to deliver. And it makes a huge impact. So, word-of-mouth marketing. This is, in a sense, our face-to-face business networking. So, again, I like definitions. I like to define things. Networking, I want you to see that big word, networking. We're just going to look at the net on the one side, and we got work on the other, right? Networking. So, what is a net? You guys have all seen nets before. That's a fisherman's net. You're casting this big net, right, hoping to catch as many fish as you can. The master of business networking is not trying to throw this big net. That's not what I'm talking to you about today. The net are all your intersections of people and contacts. That's where you're building your net. You recognizing that when I'm over here at the birthday party, I've got lots of intersections that I'm making. All right. When I'm over here in my classroom, I've got lots of intersections happening. Part of it is just realizing that you have these intersections and they're part of a net that you're building. Whether you decide to work it or not, that's up to you. But there is some work in networking. Good news, there's only 5 levels. I call it levels of business networking or face-to-face networking. I say this because our goal isn't this big net we're going to throw out over all the people in this room and I'm going to be like, they're all going to be in my network now. I'm not running around to grab every single one of your business cards and put it in my database. No, that's not the goal. What I wanted for you to become a master, I want you to understand there's the stages that we want to go through with people. It starts somewhere, maybe more of it may look more like a pyramid. Let's face it, I think it was Bill Cosby that said, I don't know Bill Cosby said, I don't know the key to success, but I do know the key to failure is trying to make everyone else happy, trying to make everyone happy, or trying to please everyone. Has anyone heard that quote from Bill Cosby? He may not be as a good spokesman as he used to be, but I think there's a lot of truth to that. Trying to please everybody. And remember, you're not for everyone. And that should not discourage you. Do not get discouraged by that fact. And at a networking event, you might show up at the wrong event. You may be like, what am I doing here? That could happen as well. But remember, let's recognize these levels that we should go through to make ourselves the masters of business networking. The first is our greeting. And like I said, you guys remember the pose? The dynamic greeting? Good. All right, so in our dynamic greeting, what are we looking for? Maybe some of you can't read the statement up there, but I'll read it to you. It says, make sure all your language is sweet. Underline language. Language, the first language we need to master is body language. Body language says so much about you. It says more about you than most of the things that are going to come out of your mouth with people. So, what does our greeting look like? What is our language? What's our body language need to look like? And I'm going to go through some really basic things, and I hope I'm not insulting any of you, especially the baby boomers or the Generation X, because many of you have 10,000 hours in on this deal, so I don't want to insult anyone, but I want to make sure that we have clarity. Eye contact. So that first greeting. Let's see. This young man over here, would you please come here? Yeah. I told you I was going to make this experiential and embarrassing.
Trouble.
How you doing? How do I say your name?
Dionis.
Dionis, welcome. Face the camera. Dionis, you're from Liberty High School.
Yeah.
All right, good. So, Dionis, we're going to work on our greeting. We're going to analyze it. He walked up here, confident, right? Shoulders up, looking up, chin up, right? Makes you feel good. He made contact. He made eye contact with me. We shook hands, right? Great handshake. I want to tell you why. This is really important because you're going to meet people not like Dionis. All right? They're going to give you the limp wrist. That is not good. Please don't do that. Please. That is, it just makes me creepy. All right? There are all kinds of really bad handshakes. Don't give bad handshakes. I like to say it's like, my father taught me like a really good handshake, and I think, it's my job to teach others that because not everyone has that instruction. But I want you guys to think, like, you want to meet right here. Like, you want this part of your hand and this part of your hand there. All right. Now, you don't try to break his hand, okay? That's not a good idea either. And I think it's the eye contact. Now, don't hold it too long because that's really uncomfortable too. All right? I just want to make sure. Give me that. Again, this may sound very, very basic, but I want to go through that. Now, another famous person that's written a few books. Do you want to sit down? No, you're really a good example. You have to stay for one more minute. Dale Carnegie wrote a book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. Bestseller. I think maybe most every salesperson and marketing person has probably read it. He's got a couple of great principles. One of his principles or statements says that the sweetest sound in any language is the sound of a person's own name. So, Dionis, did I say that correct?
Yeah.
That's important. How do you remember someone's name? There are actually memory techniques to do this. and I'm going to share a couple with you. Now, Dionys, I could see it. That helped me. But I could ask, Dionys, I'm not familiar with that name. I've never heard that name before, as a matter of fact. How do you spell that?
D-I-O-N-Y-S.
No, you should know that. No, but this works too. Like even with common name, like especially on an uncommon name, that's sometimes helpful to do. Oh, Dionys, is that with an S? Or you might say, pick something out like, is that well, you said your last name correct. Is that Spanish?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So now I'm associating right now Dionys, okay, Spanish. All right. All these types of things are helping me remember who Dionys is. Now, you may have someone whose name is Mark. So you could say, is that Mark with a C or Mark with a K? Is that Carrie with a C, K, I, E, Y? There's so many different variations of common names, but as you take the time to emphasize their name, you're going to improve your ability to remember their name. So it's not always that easy, though. It's not always that easy. So I recommend, another tip for you, is when you're speaking with this person and as you're moving through the greeting and going to the curiosity, I want you to use the person's name, Dionys, Dionys, Dionys. Use it several times in that initial conversation with them, and there's a better chance you're going to remember Dionys. Now everyone knows you now, Dionys, because I've said it 6 times. Thank you. Let's hear it for Dionys. So now that everyone knows that body language is important, we talked about the handshake, the eye contact, the posture, walking through. Everyone's language is perfectly sweet because we remembered their names. Now we can move on. We can move on to curiosity. My little statement here is have good form and hold your final judgment beyond the first 7 seconds. All right. I love the phrase about people don't really care how much you know and who you know until they know how much you care about them and they have a feeling that you know who they are. The way you get there to generate those feelings about people is genuine curiosity. Genuine curiosity. Now, this is hard, I think, for a lot of people. It's particularly hard for me because I'm more of a type A personality. Get it done, move on, let's go. My wife would say I'm maybe just a smidge selfish, okay? But that's kind of who I am. I'm not saying we need to change who we are to be a good master at business networking, but we have to realize we have to be able to take the focus off of us for at least a couple of minutes, what did I say, longer than 7 seconds, to be able to start building that relationship. So, let's have another volunteer. Someone over here from the baby boom section.
You want me to come up?
Come on, Scott. I know Scott. All right, good. So Scott and I, we already know each other. So we're going to pass over the greeting stage. Now we are going to go into curiosity. There's a few things I don't know about Scott that I'm going to soon know about. If you ever got into a situation or you're in the networking, you're in this environment and you're like, I just don't know what to say. I'm here, but I'm like, I don't care. Like whatever it is, like, where do I go? Like, I want to be genuinely curious. I just don't know what to ask. All right, so remember, good form. Form is an acronym. F, we're going to ask Scott questions about his family. Most everyone has a family that I know. All right? Next, we're going to ask him about his O, occupation. A lot of people have occupations. Most people have occupations. Even if they're unemployed, they have an occupation they're seeking. all right? Or even if you're a student, you have an occupation that you're seeking. R, we're going to ask him about his recreation. Where does he vacation? Where does he play any sports? What does he like to do for fun? And then M, miscellaneous things of interest. Do you have any miscellaneous things of interest to you? News? Weather, that's a big one. Did we get enough rain? Those are, again, you guys, just breaking down good form. There's plenty, you have plenty of material to work with if you remember the acronym FORM, F-O-R-M-E. So let's try it out. Scott.
Yes, Jim.
How's your family?
Doing quite well.
They're doing quite well?
How's yours doing?
They're doing great. Thank you. Thanks for asking.
Sure.
Now, I don't remember, Scott. Are you married?
Oh, yes.
You're married? And
It's been, goodness, 43 years.
43 years. Wow. And how, do you have any children? Did you have any children?
Two grown boys.
2 grown boys?
37 and 33.
They made it, huh? They
And one still lives with me, so I'm not sure if you made it or not.
Okay. Okay. So again, Scott, married 43 years. That's a huge accomplishment. That's wonderful. And two.
That I survived is an accomplishment.
Yeah. Wow.
Or my wife survived, I guess, if they're really.
He's got two grown boys.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
4 grandchildren.
Mm-hmm. And 4 grandchildren. Wow. That's awesome. And notice, usually what happens here is there's going to be a snowball. He's going to start asking me about my family. And I'll say, so Scott, I recognize you work for Geiger. Tell me about Geiger.
Well, Geiger is one of the largest promotional products distributors in the nation, and I'm an independent sales rep with them.
Wow. What's a promotional product?
Well, anything you see your company name on, whether it's mugs, hats, shirts, things of that nature, to help promote your business.
Wow, that's good to know. You see how this is going to work? It's going to go back and forth. We're just going to continue on. And if I feel the need to, talk to him about where he goes on vacation, there's just plenty of material for you to start a conversation with and maintain good form. So, Scott, thank you.
No, not a problem. Thank you.
Let's hear it for Scott. So now you have good form. Now, I encourage you, I like to say, this says, hold your judgment beyond 7 seconds. I don't know about you, but I've been in situations and I've met certain people, I kind of know instantly, man, this isn't going to work. Has that ever happened to anyone here? Thank you for being honest.